What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and today, day trading, I made around $1,500. It was like $14.95 in one account and like $6 in another one. Now, I was actually up $1,800 with about 5 minutes left in the day, and then I gave back around $300 in the last 5 minutes like an absolute idiot. And overall, it was a pretty frustrating day, but there was one really good opportunity that I want to talk about because I absolutely butchered it, and I want to talk about why I butchered it and potentially, give some ideas on how I can be better about that in the future. And if you miss this opportunity, it should help you, walk through how you can take better advantage of opportunities like this in the future. So hopefully you find this helpful. If you do, please smash the like button. As always, destroy it, obliterate it, annihilate it, expunge it from existence, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I make these videos every single day, and I'm still yet to have a red day in April, so pretty cool. Not saying it's not right around the corner, who knows, but I think it's pretty cool given that a lot of big traders are taking some big L's. So everything is about protecting in this market, guys, and hopefully this video will help you do that. So let's dive into my computer and look at those charts. Alright, guys, so the chart of the day that included all the best plays of the day was HMBL, pretty much just like yesterday, except today it had an absolutely epic bounce play of over 50% in, I don't even know how long. I mean, a very small amount of time. What is that, 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours? Yeah, in like 2 hours, it bounced like 50%. So pretty insane. But this chart is such a good example of why you need to lock in gains, especially in a market like this, and why you don't want to turn into a bag holder. Because again, they had their crazy, their CNBC thing. Again, I longed it here, 266. As soon as he got off of CNBC, this thing just absolutely sold off here. And a lot of people were thinking, all right, this is the bottom, and it's probably going to come back up and, break this eventually. But it just kept selling off, man, breaking down to new lows, newer lows. And this 250 held for a little bit, and then the next day, gapped down, completely tanked, closed near low days. And it opened today, it gapped down again, and went into a panic right out of the gate. And I made some decent, no, that was yesterday. Okay, yeah, so today, again, it went into a panic right out of the gate. I made some decent money shorting it right here, covering right here, and it just continued going down. It could not find a bottom, man. It broke past these lows, and it was kind of choppy, so I was a little hesitant to short it at first because, it feels like every time it downticks, it upticks. So if you short into weakness, you're just covering if you're covering right away. And with the size that I was taking, 5,000, 10,000 shares, I can't really afford to let it go multiple pennies against me because I'm taking a $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 loss. So you can't really afford that. So I honestly didn't capitalize on this as much as I should have. I definitely made some money down here, but honestly, I royally screwed this up, and it was a really choppy bottom, guys. It was a really choppy bottom, and it was tough to nail. And what's frustrating about this is I bought 10,000 shares right around in this area, and I can go try to see what my entry was. It might take me too long to find it, honestly, just because there's so many trades here. I'm trying to find where it is. 114. 5,000, I bought some there. Then I also bought some on my other account. Honestly, I'm not sure exactly where I bought it. I'm not sure where I bought it, because longs and shorts are the same thing. But essentially, guys, I took multiple stabs at going long on this stock. And again, remember, I'm at Schwab, so my settled cash is very limited. And because of that, I got faked out by a couple of these movements and ended up, buying here and, cutting for a small loss or, maybe a $50 gain up in this region. And with 10,000 shares, you get a 50-cent bounce, man. That's $5,000. That's a lot of money, man. I mean, again, I only made $1,500 today, so I could have easily made way more. And I think the biggest thing here was just the fact that you gotta be willing to be more patient when stuff is down so much. And this is something that I'm bad at because I like to trade the small movements to avoid taking bigger losses. But ultimately, what it comes down to is the fact that when a stock goes from, $3.50, call it 420, when it goes from there and it goes all the way down all the way down. I mean, if you want to call it here, let's call it 357. It's straight down from 357 with no real bounces, guys. Straight down to 108. So, I mean, that is a huge percentage drop. And when it finally finds the bottom on a day when it's just selling off ridiculously hard, you got to know that it's going to bounce harder. You know, you got to know it's going to bounce harder. And I actually underestimated how far this was going to bounce. I said, man, you know, down in this area, I was like, in the Discord, I was like, I think this probably bounces to at least 125. And I was right, but I mean, I underestimated that so hard. But I didn't even make it that far. Even if I had, you know, a 10,000 shares from 110 and I sell at 125, that's still $1,500, man. That's still the profit that I made on the day. So it's just very frustrating for me that I butchered this so badly. But people who are super long on Humble, who really think this is a great long-term investment, man, you got to cut some losses. That's the thing. You know, if you sell at 350 and you're big on Humble, bro, you can dip by and get 3 times as many shares in the dollar range, man. If you had 1 million shares before, now you got 3 million shares. So if long-term this goes to $25, $50, you're going to be absolutely killing it. But there's a lot of people who are just bag holding this stock, and it pains me to see because it really is down a ton when you look at where it went. But when you look at where it came from, it's still up a ton. That's what's wild. It literally came from 0.0001 before the reverse split. So if we include the reverse split, okay, 0.0004. It's still up, I think I want to say over 500,000%. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's like 200,000, 300-something,000%. But I mean, it's still a ridiculous percentage that this thing is up from where it came from. So you just got to remember that. You got to remember that. And it could still go a lot lower. Now, it's down a lot from here after it broke the support. So I feel like it's going to bounce at some point. But this was already kind of a big bounce, man. From 108 all the way up to 174. So, I mean, I don't really know. I don't really know what happens long term with this thing. I mean, years out in advance, you're probably going to be fine if you keep holding this. But this overall market is just so ugly, guys, and you really got to protect. So I would say my biggest takeaway from this thing is that you got to be willing. You got to be willing to be a little bit more patient when you look at the overall big chart. When something is down from 350 to $1 with pretty much no bounces at all, you got to know that it's going to bounce bigger at some point. And that was my mistake here, getting chopped out when I had limited cash. You know, maybe I bought here, and then it came down below, and I sold here. And then it went up here, and I chased. And then, you know, this candle is 2 cents, so I bought on the top, and then it came back down, and I sold there. You know, I don't like taking any type of big risk. But sometimes you got to be more patient, guys. You got to be more patient. You got to take into consideration the overall chart just because it's down so much. So that is my biggest regret on this stock. I left so much money on the table, and ultimately it hurts. Now I did end up nailing the short, but that's just because I took a decent amount of paper cuts on the way up, trying to catch the top. Now the reason for that is, again, I would rather have been longing this, but I can't buy in my stupid Schwab because OTCs are non-marginable. So again, I can short unlimited OTCs, no problem, but I can only buy with settled cash, and as soon as that runs out, I can't buy anymore. So pretty darn stupid. My E-Trade account, they messed up my social security number. It's a whole deal. So we got to figure out how to get that going. Hopefully I get that up and running soon, because then I would have unlimited buying power, and I could have been longing stuff like this. I could have taken 100,000 shares from 108, man. I mean, I would have had enough money. I literally have enough money to take 100,000 shares from there. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. Hopefully I can get back to longing, because these opportunities are really good, and it stinks to miss them, because in a slow market like this, there are very few opportunities that are this good. So that's what's frustrating. And again, I did catch the top with some decent size. I had like 10,000 shares from 168 average or something like that. So I ended up covering way too soon. I covered it like 162, 161 or something like that, and that's how I got up to 1,500. But then they ran out of shares to short, and I couldn't short anymore. And it kept fading for the rest of the day, and they never had more shares to short. So really stinks. But this is just one that it's still going to be on watch, guys. And it could definitely see another morning panic tomorrow and another red day tomorrow. Now, I'm not expecting that. I'm not saying for sure that's going to happen, but I'm going to be watching for that, because if it panics right out of the gate, man, that is an easy short, and I love easy shorts. So we'll see what happens. ENZC, this thing has actually come up a lot from that 9 cent area. Had another nice run here. I was able to catch the top here short and make some money. I definitely covered too soon, but you know, it was nice. And I think this is getting to the point where potentially it could see some type of panic. Now it's still, I mean, if you look at this chart, man, it's still ridiculously down. I mean, oh, that's a pretty big bounce. But then you look at the overall chart, and I mean, it's just, it got destroyed, bro. It got destroyed. The OTC run was so insane, man. This also came from was this 004, bro? I don't even know how low this was, bro. I don't even know how low this was. Low, 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 low. 005, 004, 003. So this came from ridiculously cheap too, and went as high as 95 cents. So these charts are insane, guys. Everything was spiking ridiculously hard in February, but I'd be looking for a morning panic on ENZC. Maybe we'll get some more runs. Maybe it'll bounce harder, but for me, I feel like there's more potential downside. So I'm gonna just be looking to short this thing, man, honestly. And that's what's easier. It's easier to do in this market just because everything seems like it's failing. To give you another example, DGLY, this is a stock that always spikes whenever there's riots, whenever there's protests. And if you guys didn't hear, the police officer got charged with 3 counts of murder. And because of that, look what happened after hours, bro. Literally, as soon as that verdict came out, this thing just absolutely died because it was basically uptrending on the idea that when potentially, you know, they didn't get the verdict that they wanted, there was going to be a ton of rioting, and this stock always spikes when there's riots. So since that didn't happen, this thing just absolutely died. Kind of a crazy chart. But yeah, just you got to be careful. Again, be careful of holding through news when you don't know what the news is going to be. It's the same type of thing. You know, when these catalysts are over, man, it can get really, really ugly. AABB, guys, this had a little spike here, but really not doing too much, man. I mean, literally everything felt like it was dead today. So you gotta take your gains when you can get them. RGBP, this one, you know, there was some room on the short side. They didn't have shares to short right at open. They didn't have it until there was pretty much no opportunity for profit. I may have shorted here and covered down here or something, you know, made 20 bucks, 50 bucks, maybe 100 bucks on this ticker, but nothing too crazy. LTNC, this is the other one I like shorting, and it was down a lot today, but just choppy overall, man. Everything is so gross. It's really gross. So the biggest priority, guys, is just protect right now. Hotter markets will come. We will get some better plays, but for now, you really just got to be careful. I guess there were a few stocks that did something. SIRC did a little bit. SIRC, this one spiked up really nicely in the morning, and there were no shares to short, and I found it around here, so I'm not going to be buying here. And then it came back down. Had a nice little bounce. A decent amount of range, and did close near those highs, so maybe it does something interesting. But again, there's still no shares to short for me, and I don't really want to chase when I have limited buying power, and if I have to cut, then I just use my buying power. So pretty frustrating. Recap, guys, this is the stock. This stock is the devil, man. You got to stay away from this thing. It had its first red day. If you want to see the chart, I mean, it's so overextended. I mean, it went straight up from 3 to 8, and then today, well, I guess that was technically the first red day, but I mean, it was still up. So this was kind of the first red day, and it sold off kind of nicely, but I kept messing it up, and then it bounced and squeezed all the way back up and went green on the day for a little bit. I mean, it was crazy, man. Absolutely insane. This stock, if you've ever tried to short this stock or long this stock, you'll know what I'm talking about. Its level 2 is the most scammy thing I've ever seen in my life. It'll like move without any prints. It's literally just market makers, algorithms just trolling you, man. It's ridiculous. I hate this stock, but luckily I did nail it for one great revenge trade. I shorted it right here at 680. I filled 500 shares, and I covered it down at like 668 or something like that. I forget what my exact entry was on this. 667, yeah. So I shorted 500 at 680 and covered at 667 right there, and I could have held it a lot longer, but I didn't trust this thing not to keep squeezing because it's so annoying like that. It's impossible to read, so I was just glad I made some back on it. But then right towards the end, like an idiot, I got squeezed by coin, man. I got squeezed by coin. So this thing started bouncing. It started bouncing, and I missed this, and I started shorting into this green candle, and I didn't cover any. And then I covered here, and then reshorted here, didn't cover any. And then I covered here, reshorted here, didn't cover any. And then I reshorted here, and then the market was about to close, so I had to cover here. So I gave back like 300 on this, and I thought it was too many green candles, but again, it's my rule, guys. Towards the end of the day, you got to be smart, man. It's so easy to give back gains because I was trying to hit 2,000 profit on the day. I was up 1,800, and I'm like, all right, man. If this thing is up at 319 and I'm short 100 shares, if it dumps to 318 or 317, yeah. If I'm short from 319, I mean $2 a share, 100 shares. I'm positive on the day, but it didn't want to do that. It didn't want to do that. And when something spikes towards the end of the day, it doesn't need to dip. When something tanks near the end of the day, it doesn't need to bounce. I don't know how many times I need to tell myself that. I guess I thought there was still enough time left with a few minutes, right here. But really, if there's 5 minutes or less left on the day, you got to be really careful about that. And don't focus on those arbitrary profit numbers, guys. Because again, by trying to hit $2,000 on the day when I was up 1,800, I ended up giving back over $300 and finishing up, $1,500 on the day. So very, very frustrated with myself, but still glad to be green in a market like this. And ultimately, I don't have any great watches for tomorrow, guys. I really don't. I mean, Humble, okay, HMBL. I guess Forwardly was also, down a lot today and then had a decent bounce right here and did end up going up a lot. But I mean, it's still pretty gross, guys. There's still not a lot of opportunities. OZSC broke down through 7 cents and dumped down to 6 cents and is now here. Just another gross day. ALYI broke down to new lows under 4 cents. I mean, literally every single stock is bleeding off, guys. I guess AITX may have tried to have a green day. I'm not sure. Maybe it finished red on the day. So just protect, guys. Biggest watches for tomorrow are ENZC, HMBL, I guess potentially SIRC from a long side if it can break over that and continue to spike. And that's pretty much it. I mean, RGBP, if it can try to have a green day or something, try to spike up like this, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But it's scary. It's a scary world out there. I just want you guys to stay safe. That's the most important thing. So size down. Don't take big size. There's not the opportunities to support big size in this market right now. And yeah, hopefully you found this video helpful, guys. If you made it to the end, I really appreciate you. Appreciate all your support. Hope you guys are doing well. And I'll see you in the next video. So until then, you know the drill. Bye now. I really hope. I'll see you next time. That's not what I say. What do I say? Ah, yes. Let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.